from the beginning, they brought a little bit of naughtiness to a place that was probably naughty enough to begin with. A part of the glittering city for the past 50 years, Vegas showgirls have captivated audiences with their exotic costumes, slinky moves, and sexy bodies.
A showgirl is somebody who is to be considered a statuesque beauty, who is going to be perceived as glamorous, gorgeous to look at, can carry herself, can smile and entertain the audience, and to be able to do it in such a manner that she looks graceful and that she is in control.
My definition of a showgirl is someone that has star quality, a great deal of charisma, and not only just beautiful, there are a lot of beautiful girls around. It has to be someone who knows how to communicate an emotion. It's just that extra something that a star has, that you just can't take your eyes off of them.
It seems to me like people are very enamored by showgirls, and I think it's really important for us to have our idols and for us to have people that we do look up to and admire.
Since the late 1940s, audiences have flocked to see showgirls perform in Vegas's over-the-top revues. These big-budget spectacles combine elaborate production numbers with extravagantly outfitted showgirls, many of whom perform topless.
I think the whole topless element is done in such a tasteful manner that it just shows more the beauty of the female form. It's not offensive. I've never had anyone say anything to me that they were offended by the nudity at all.
But Mike Paskovich, reporter for the Las Vegas Review-Journal, says performing topless isn't what draws these statuesque beauties to the Vegas spotlight.
I did a story a couple years back about toplessness, and every topless dancer I spoke to, with a couple exceptions, said they'd rather not, but the money was a factor, and maybe they got the job because of that agreement they would dance topless. It's funny, once they leave stage, they cover up immediately.
In fact, some performers are vehemently opposed to taking off their tops.
I won't at 33 and have 2 children. It's not my preference. I have not had to go topless at this point. It's just a matter of what from your heart you see as art or what you allow yourself to do.
I think most dancers still don't want to dance topless. It's worth maybe $50 extra a week, but sometimes at the pay they're getting, that can be, substantial.
Surprisingly, these glamour girls don't pull in superstar salaries, with or without their tops.
Today they're making $650 a week, which is $30,000, which is a livable wage, but just about the national median. It's not great money at all, especially when you look at the fact they're working 50 weeks a year generally, and often 6 nights a week, 13 shows a week, and that's a real grind.
And that grind continues off stage. Vegas showgirls are expected to keep their bodies and dance technique in perfect shape.
It is such a hard profession, and you have to work at it every single day. Just because our jobs are 6-month contracts, you lose your job, you're auditioning to find another. It's all about who's on top. And so people don't realize just how much goes into our jobs.
But even if showgirls keep their bodies in shape, their careers can only last for so long.
When you're heading towards your mid-30s, early 40s, and you're working with people who are 18, 19, it gets very tough. It's worth it. It keeps you in shape and it keeps you on your toes, but there comes a point when you can no longer defy what is aging.
You're watched every night, and you have to look appropriate on stage, or else you won't be on stage. So that part can be a little difficult as you get older.
Finding work can be just as difficult. Despite the long hours and low pay, competition in Vegas is fierce.
It's all about your talent and your ability, and also your looks, your body type. It can be pretty brutal, personally, to feel like you're getting shot down all the time. If you have a hard time getting a job, you get really discouraged. And, it is very nerve-wracking because your livelihood depends on it.
I haven't been to an audition that wasn't nerve-wracking as of yet. I can't imagine going into one and not just having my heart up in my throat.
This week, auditions are being held for the Rio Hotel's Masquerade Show in the Sky. Producers of the popular spectacle, which features dancers both on stage and in floats high above the casino, are getting ready to premiere a revamped version of the show.
We're putting together a new show now, the Ipanema Beach Parade, this new millennium, fun, sexy, hot, wild parade that we're looking for very talented people. Of course, beauty is a big essence here in Vegas, and we're looking for beautiful girls who have great bodies, who, of course, can dance, have wonderful personalities, because really the personality has a lot to do with whether or not that person's going to do the right job for us.
While the show is almost cast, producer Blair Farrington and company manager Kim Lyle are still looking for one final performer to round out the troupe.
8 and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7, 8 and a 1.
Our audition process is we put an ad in what we call our local Dirt Alert paper, which is a local mag for performers. We started off with about 40 girls that turned up.
If it's a relatively normal amount of people, I'll see them walk, I'll see them do some easier choreography just to see if they have the look and the sparkle. And then from there, we'll eliminate down and start teaching more choreography and start seeing the depth of their experience and what they bring to the table and any special skills that they also may have. We're going to line you up. You're going to do the combination coming at us, and then you're going to turn around and do the combination going away from us, okay? Here we go. 6, 7, 8. First line only. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, and a 1. We're not looking for people who are burnt out on the business and who are looking to retire. We want people who are fresh, who really enjoy it. This is not the graveyard of Las Vegas. If anything, this is a place where all the young upstarters want to come and really show their stuff. And that's what we tend to look for and hopefully get.
Coming up, 40 talented dancers are narrowed down to just one winner. Find out who will make it to the Rio's Ipanema Beach Party.
Those that don't get their names called, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. You did a great job, and better luck next time.
Plus, go backstage to see what it takes to put on one of Vegas's sauciest shows. But first, veteran showgirls reveal how Sin City earned its reputation.
It was one big party. That's what it was.
The original special, Vegas Showgirls.
6, 7, 8, and step, touch, and walk.
As auditions continue, producers of the Rio Hotel's new stage show get ready to narrow down 40 dancers to a few remaining finalists.
Touch. Okay, everybody stop. Well, let me just tell you, all did great, even the ones that didn't get the job, okay?
We're going to call the names of the people that we'd like to stay. Those that don't get their names called, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. You did a great job, and better luck next time. So I'm going to start calling out the names of the people that are going to stay.
So please step forward when we call your name.
Kelly Jo. Ophelia. Michelle Ubanek.
With only 13 girls remaining, the competition is about to get even tougher.
What we're seeing here is not how well you dance, but how well you sell. Okay, so we want to see whether you have that sexiness and that presence and the posturing and all of that, okay?
Only one of these women will be cast in the new production, but whoever makes the final cut will continue a long tradition that began in the early days of Las Vegas. Charles Phoenix, author of Fabulous Las Vegas in the 50s, says that a large part of the city's success was due to its scantily clad showgirls.
Las Vegas in the 50s, there had never been anything like it. It was completely different. It was an all-new experience for everybody who visited it. Everything was designed to catch your eye, to catch the light, to lure you in. Everything was seductive. The architecture was seductive. The lights were seductive. There was glitter and glamour everywhere. The noises, the music, the entertainment. Showgirls were really important to the growth of Las Vegas because the better the showgirls were, the more they revealed, the more people came in to see them. The more people that came in to see the showgirls, the more people gambled in the casino.
As Vegas grew, the hotels became larger and more elaborate. And so did the stage shows.
In 1954, Minsky's Follies was the first big show full of showgirls, and it was at the Showboat. But in 1957, they did a show at the Dunes, Minsky's Follies did, that was called Holiday for G-Strings, and it was the first time where they ever took their tops off, which caused a huge sensation in Las Vegas. Of course, they were all saying, this can't be, we can't have this, and everyone came to see the show. It ran for 4.5 years. With the success of Minsky's Follies' topless review at the Dunes, two of the other casinos brought in topless reviews, but this time they were from Paris. And they were bigger and better and more topless than the other show. The Stardust in '58 had the Lido de Paris, and the Tropicana in 1959 had Folies Bergère. Folies Bergère is still running today, 40 years later.
Virginia James, a former dancer in the Follies Bergère, remembers life in Vegas when she first arrived in 1957.
Beautiful people came to our shows, beautiful people in the shows, and everybody having fun, really fun, and parties, but wonderful parties, where you would go up and there would be a Sinatra party. There'd be Joe DiMaggio, Elizabeth Taylor. I mean, just come for the party, and this went on constantly. And then sometimes after the show, Sinatra would put us in his plane and fly us to his Beverly Hills home just for a party. So that's what it was like then.
During Vegas's heyday, Virginia performed with the world's most acclaimed entertainers. The relationships formed on stage often continued out of the spotlight. In fact, Virginia's first encounter with Frank Sinatra led to romance.
Sinatra came out to rehearsals, that's right. Yeah, he came to rehearsals, and he walked up to the stage, and we were all in our rehearsal clothes and perspiring and working hard and hoping you were doing it right. And he turned around and said to the choreographer, "What's that one's name?" And it was me. And we went together on and off for about 2 years, and he was wonderful to me. Yes, Sinatra did have a reputation of womanizing, and I'm sure there's probably 40 other girls saying right now, "I went with him then." And they probably did.
Jeannie Webster, who began performing in 1954, had a less romantic experience with Old Blue Eyes.
Sinatra would be sitting in the lounge with multitudes of people and all the showgirls, dancers, and everyone around him. And when he got sick of everybody, he'd give everybody a $100 bill and tell them to go gamble. So I'm like 18, and I don't know how to gamble. And I said this to my girlfriends, and she said, "We'll go in the bathroom and put it in your pocket." He doesn't care. And he didn't. He just wanted to get rid of us. And he did.
While showgirls were hired for their work on stage, some were also required to perform other, more private duties for the hotels.
In the 50s and 60s, the showgirls and dancers' job did not end when they left the stage. Afterwards, many of them would dress up in beautiful cocktail gowns and mink stoles and come out and mix and mingle. And then on and beyond that, many of them were required by the hotel owners to actually entertain the high rollers in the room. In fact, if they refused to participate in the extracurricular activities, they were let go immediately.
One night, somebody walked up to me, and I was told I didn't need to do the second show. I was to be with him. And I said, well, I was very sorry, but I was going to do the second show. So he said, you know, you'll be fired. And I said, yes, I knew that when I took the job. And I was. The next night I got my 2-week notice, and that was the way it went, but I went into it knowing that that could happen, and it did.
While much has changed since the 50s, today's showgirls are still considered rare beauties who bring a certain mystique to Las Vegas.
I think it's still considered glamorous, but I don't think showgirls are looked upon like they were back in the 50s and 60s, where they were like celebrities in Las Vegas. So it's lost some of that, but it's still a glamorous job.
Vegas's original showgirls retired from the stage long ago, but in their own way, each played a small role in making Vegas a city unlike any other.
I don't get out on the Strip much anymore. It's like outgrown me. Because when I came, it was just like a small town. And now it's different. I know it's beautiful, and there's beautiful hotels, and everything is gorgeous, but it's just a whole different flavor.
Coming up, a rare look backstage at one of Sin City's sexiest shows. And later, the competition heats up as producers of the Rio Hotel's new production make a final decision.
Fashion, beauty, home design, it's all on Style, the new network from the creators of E! Go inside today's most extraordinary homes on Homes with Style. Enter Randolph Duke's Hampton Hideaway and Adrian Fittadini's Fifth Avenue apartment. Be inspired by
girls. With auditions for the Rio Hotel's new show moving forward, 40 talented dancers have been narrowed down to just 13. Producer Blair Farrington and choreographer Anna Cook challenged the remaining dancers with some tough moves.
Boom, fa,
After we have a smaller group of people, we'll probably teach them another more difficult, more challenging combination so that we can see if they can do the type of choreography that we do.
So it's not just step, step, it's hip into it. Boom.
4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1, 2, 5, 6.
With only a few moments to learn a whole new set of steps, the dancers must execute the routine flawlessly if they are to make the next cut.
We're looking for people that pick up quickly, learn the combination fast, have the look that we're looking for, have the talent to execute those steps. Okay, ladies, second cut. If I don't call your name, thank you very much again for coming. We appreciate you being here.
Please step forward when your name is called.
Starting to the right, Erica Anderson, Michelle Ubanik, Jacqueline Holland. I feel terrible, And it's not always a personal choice of you're bad or you're good. It's just what is fitting what we need. The rest of you, thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, if our 6 finalists could all spread out, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do the same combination.
Once we've chosen the 6 girls, we have them perform those 2 combinations either in 2s or 3s so that we can really study each girl very closely.
In this high-pressure environment, one wrong step can mean the end.
After the audition is over, we instruct people that they will be notified by phone call whether or not we have a position for them.
We're going to be making a casting choice very soon. You'll all be getting phone calls one way or the other.
Relieved the audition is over, the 6 finalists reflect on the experience.
I did what I could do, and it's pretty much either way if I fit the mold or not, so kind of pointless to get too nervous.
I had no idea what to expect, so no matter what happens, I feel like I did my best.
You hope that if you're what they're looking for, then you've got a job. If not, there's a whole city full of jobs for us.
One showgirl who had no trouble finding work in Las Vegas is Sue White. A performer for nearly 2 decades, she currently stars in Jubilee, a big-budget production at Bally's Hotel.
The first night that I saw it, I literally, for some reason, just really fell in love with the show. And it just has a special place for me. There's no other show like it. And we get standing ovations from these people, and they are generally, they love us.
Although the stage is Sue's first love, she knows a showgirl's career can't go on forever. After 17 years of strutting her stuff on the strip, Sue started a second career as a makeup artist for MAC Cosmetics.
For 17 years, I've done stage, so I'm really comfortable with makeup. I'm really comfortable with talking to people.
This looks really good on you.
Check it out. What do you think?
Looks really
That's
good.
beautiful, huh? You have a good vacation.
I hope you enjoy your day.
See you later.
While Sue prepares for the future with her day job, she must also keep her body in top physical condition for her nights on stage.
I go to ballet class on my 2 days off from MAC. When I go to ballet class, I don't go there to have fun. I go to ballet class and I beat myself up. It allows me to go on stage, do my job, and not have to struggle through the show. Ballet gives you an edge. It keeps you so incredibly toned. It keeps your youth.
And Sue needs that youthful edge. Her stamina is put to the test repeatedly as she performs in Jubilee 12 times a week.
I usually get there with about 5 minutes to spare to get another dose of caffeine, and I succumb to the candy machine. We do mandatory warm-up for half an hour. We do have clean-up rehearsals by our assistant company manager, Diane.
2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You just want to freshen up the number and make sure everybody's really tight doing the number together. Sue, you've got your arms apart here, and they should be straight. Okay.
Is this up there?
No, they're here.
Then makeup, that's from 7 to 7:30.
I'm just adding a little bit of George tonight, see? Because I feel Georgie.
Sue isn't the only one hard at work. A look behind the scenes reveals that presenting Jubilee night after night is a complete undertaking involving a myriad of unsung backstage heroes.
Welcome to Bally's Jubilee Costume Shop. What happens sometimes is the costumes need to be refurbed because the show runs 6 days a week, 52 weeks a year, so there's a lot of wear and tear on the costumes. Each costume originally cost between $6,000 and $8,000 in 1981, and they've been refurbished throughout the years, but we have 36 of those costumes in the show. This particular elevator has a permanent set built on it, which is used in the Titanic boiler room, And this set holds 5,000 gallons of water, which is forced through every night, twice a night, as the ship sinks. We're over here on stage left of this Jubilee stage, and this is where all the scenery is stored during the course of the show. And all the sets back here, they're all stored in a precise order because they've all got to come out in a certain order to fit on stage. It's like a jigsaw puzzle.
With all the pieces in place, Sue takes the stage and the show begins.
Then we do Jubilee, and it's 10 numbers, and in between every number, there's 2 flights of stairs. So you get changed, you go up 2 flights of stairs to do your number, you come back down, and you repeat that 9 more times. I owe it to caffeine and definitely a will to achieve things, and nobody's going to come to my house with a winning lottery ticket and say, "Here, darling, take the rest of your life off." I have to do it myself.
Still to come, find out who lands the coveted job in the Rio Hotel's Show in the Sky.
We've decided, if you are still available, to hire you for our Show in the Sky.
Really?
And witness what happens when hundreds of glamorous showgirls reunite.
It's like a centerfold reunion.
Vegas Showgirls. Auditions for the Rio Hotel's new show have just finished, and the 40 women competing for one remaining spot have been narrowed down to just 6 finalists. After several days of deliberation, company manager Kim Lyle and producer Blair Farrington make a final decision.
If you have a trained eye, which Mr. Farrington does, he can usually pick them out within the first 5 seconds of them doing a job. You know, that before they even finish the combination, he's like, yes, this is it, this is good. But then we sit down and we discuss what else she needs to be doing in the show as far as, will she fit this particular type. We chose Michelle. She's number one, a wonderful body type. She's very lean. She looks great in any costume that you give her. She's very talented. She did the combination very well. She has that extra sparkle, which we always look for. So that's kind of why Michelle got the job.
Hello?
Michelle, this is Kim Lyle from Show in the Sky, company manager.
Hi.
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Fine.
When they called me, I was obviously very excited because I've heard a lot about this show and I've seen the shows. So and it was something that I wanted to do. So I was really excited.
I have good news for you. We are really impressed with you, and we would like to hire you for Show in the Sky.
Really?
Yes. Are you still available?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Okay, then I'll be calling you in about a week and give you some of the details, okay?
Great. Sure.
All right. Take care.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
While Michelle is about to start rehearsals for the new production, just down the road at the Tropicana, the Folies Bergère is celebrating its 40th anniversary. The Sexy Review is the longest-running show in Vegas, and producer Ginny Murphy has invited all Follies alumni back to the Tropicana to celebrate the milestone.
You happen to be in the right place at the right time. What you're about to witness is a moment in history.
The Folies Bergère is the quintessential production show. It came from Paris in December of 1959. It's been here in Las Vegas at the Tropicana for 40 years. We don't have a lot of gimmicks and gizmos, and we don't have a lot of scenery that moves at the press of a button. It's really on the blood, sweat, and tears of the people behind the scenes and also on the stage. In February of this year, we realized when we looked at the calendar that we'd be celebrating our 40th birthday. We have absolutely no records prior to December of 1979 as far as who was in the show. So it was really launching a detective search. We thought if we got 100 people responding at the end of the 10-month search, that it would be successful. We now have over 350 alumni who've responded, who are coming from the 4 corners of the globe. It's really unbelievable.
If you're to this side of the center, you're going to turn and face this way and move close. That side, the opposite.
Here we go, ready? Yeah. Okay, look up here.
Virginia James performed in the Follies' very first show in 1959.
All told, I was a dancer for approximately 8 years and enjoyed every moment of it. Never missed a show, wouldn't miss a show, and can remember them all. The Tropicana putting this Folies Bergère reunion on I was thrilled to hear that they were doing it. And like I said, I figure it's my last hurrah. I think it's wonderful because there are a lot of people I have not seen. I hope that I see Felicia Atkins from Australia. I understand she's on her way. Felicia and I were in the show together, the very first show. Gorgeous, gorgeous.
She was truly the quintessential showgirl. And even when I came many years after she was no longer in the show, you still saw all of the printed material that featured Felicia. Everywhere around town, all you ever saw in books or magazines, any documentation on Las Vegas, were pictures of Felicia Atkins.
Show business, I don't know about now. I think even the girls that I worked with, they will say the same thing because it was a wonderful life. You know, I think I was treated like a star. We'd have parties, you know, backstage. We'd all go to Lake Mead after we got off in the show, and we would water ski all day, and then come back the next day with 2 hours sleep, and we would go back in the show.
When you first see them after so many years, sometimes you don't recognize them, but it takes about 2 minutes, and then it's like you knew them before because their personality hasn't changed, their inner feelings haven't changed, only the physical has changed.
In 1967, I was voted the most beautiful showgirl in Las Vegas.
You never thought it would ever end. You know, you never thought that you'd ever get older or tired or have bad knees. You thought you'd always be young and beautiful and everybody would always love you.
Come over here, Maria. This is Maria Lanaria.
Do you remember me, Mary Marks? Of course.
She remembers me.
It's just a wonderful flashback. I can't believe it's 40 years. You tell me 15 years, but 40 years, I don't believe. It's not true.
My experience was just the most glamorous, beautiful experience. Every night was a dream. We had just a fantasy world. And I've had a million dreams about it, and it's just so wonderful to be here tonight and experience. It's almost as close as you can come to going back, to do it just one more time.
Still ahead, we'll check back in with Michelle as she prepares for her new role and find out what it takes for a young starlet to make it in the tough world of the Las Vegas stage.
It is such a hard profession, and you have to work at it every single day.
Seasoned dancer Michelle Urbanik has just been cast in the Rio Hotel's new production, Ipanema Beach Party. The show, which is performed both on a stage and on floats high above the casino, is extremely complex. As Michelle begins the arduous rehearsal period, she knows she has a lot of work ahead of her.
4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 6.
That's where everything has to stick. You get to make all your mistakes. You know, you try to match yourself to everybody else.
5, 6, ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1.
You keep running it and running it and running it, which can be very tiring sometimes, you know, but you get your endurance up.
1, 2, 3, boom, and look. Turn around, boom, and look.
While Michelle is busy learning a new routine for the Rio, 23-year-old Tammy Rankin is across town at the Riviera Hotel, working some familiar moves in the risque Crazy Girl show.
I love my job, and I love working there, and the show's terrific.
A featured dancer for the past year, Tammy began her showbiz life competing in beauty pageants. After winning several titles, her career was on its way. But in 1997, Tammy's professional life came to an abrupt halt after a tragic car accident.
When I had the accident, I was very worried that I would never dance again. I was going to visit a friend, and I was broadsided. And he hit me on my side, and the car collapsed on my legs. My legs went in, and it snapped my pelvis.
The accident left Tammy partially paralyzed. She could hardly move, let alone dance.
So from then on, from that car accident to 4 months, I had to completely rely on other people, on a walker. I couldn't even take a shower by myself. It was terrible.
Through intense physical therapy, Tammy regained the use of her legs, and after an amazing recovery, she returned to the pageant circuit.
I decided before I had gotten in the accident that I was going to compete for Miss USA. We had rehearsals every day. We didn't get hardly any sleep. and we always have parties at night. And so my back, by the end of the day, was killing me.
But while she gave it her all, the grueling schedule at Miss USA was too much for Tammy. She didn't make the top 10. And though her pageant days were over, Tammy refused to give up her dreams of dancing.
I got a job working at the MGM dancing, so I worked there for probably like 8 to 10 months, but that was really excruciating on my pelvis. I decided that I needed a job change, something that was a little less hours, maybe a little easier on my back. I went to the Crazy Girl audition, and I ended up getting a position.
Girls, girls, crazy girls. Girls, girls, girls.
But Tammy's family didn't approve of her new job for 2 simple reasons.
I had never done a topless show before. My family's having a heart attack. Everyone cannot believe that Tammy Rankin, who was just Miss Nevada, is going to Crazy Girls at the Riviera, which is totally topless.
Her dad had a heart attack, but
I had never visioned her in that type of a dance, type of a show.
So my first night I get on stage and I'm going, okay, I gotta get through this. Like, I gotta get through this. So all of a sudden I peek my head through the curtain, and here I am lip syncing to this comedy called Boobs. So I get off stage and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I just did that. We're packed pretty much every night. It's been open for 13 years. It will never close. I can tell you that right now.
The show may go on forever, but not with Tammy. Her long-term plans don't include the strip.
Currently, I'm a senior at UNLV studying industrial psychology. Then after I get my BS, I would like to get my master's, which will take 2 years.
Between work and school, Tammy has a schedule that's, well, crazy.
Usually I wake up and I go to the gym in my complex and I work out for about an hour, and then I come home and I shower and I get ready and I'll go to school, and then around 7 o'clock I hop on the freeway to go to work, and I arrive in my dressing room at 7:30. It's about 7:45, so I'm going to start putting on all my makeup for the show. Big lips. Let me see. And I should be finished around like 8:15. This is the first costume that I ever wore when I was topless on stage, and this is my boobs costume. And these are the holes in the costume. Make sure that I get all my shoes. 5 minutes before the show, you're scurrying, trying to make sure that you have every wig with every costume. And my wigs. Now I'm going to the backstage area. Are you coming?
Hold on, mister, don't get us wrong. Relax your arms, but now keep calm. Girls, girls, crazy girls. Girls, girls, girls.
It was very stressful the first month that I was in the show because I wasn't used to it. But now it's just like getting up and like writing your grocery list. It's really easy now.
For Tammy Rankin, being a showgirl is not a way of life. It's another of life's many experiences.
Well, I figure now, because I'm 23, I'm going to try to, get everything done with and over with before I decide to move on with my life, which I think that I've pretty much done it.
Coming up, their performances are supposed to be flawless, but even highly skilled showgirls sometimes miss their marks.
I have fallen in the audience. Yes, I fell off the stage.
6 and 7, 8.
Michelle Urbanik has just won a coveted spot in the Rio Hotel and Casino's Ipanema Beach Party.
In this show, I am going to be a watermelon, which is a nice fruit. It's one of my favorite fruits.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
After her first rehearsal, Michelle gets fitted for her costume.
Okay, bra fits really well. You can put your arms out. This costume is pretty simple. It's just a bra and G-string, and then we have 2 different sarongs, a shorter one and a longer one, which they'll use in different types of choreography. And then we have the hat here, which is actually very light.
The theme is Beach Party. So it's a collection of music, mostly from like the Beach Party era, Annette Funicello and those guys, which is fun.
Designer Jean Jewett has created hundreds of glitzy showgirl get-ups, including those worn in Rio's Show in the Sky.
When we begin a new project from concept to completion, the project averages about 3.5 months. One of the pieces she's cutting out now will be one of the cups for one of the strawberry costumes that covers the bra front. Everyone right now is continuing to work on the last pieces for the parade, 6 for the Rio. The average number of costumes for most projects that we do would run somewhere between 45 to 60 costumes.
As Michelle prepares for her Rio debut, the last thing on her mind is what will happen when her career as a showgirl is over. Veteran Vegas showgirls know that ultimately the spotlight will dim and they will have to move on.
I think the hardest thing is to face when you're getting to that point where it's going to end. And so, I mean, luckily I'm way away from that.
I mean, you have to stay in shape and you'll be pushing it by 45. Whereas everybody else's career, you know, you're kind of going places at the age of 45.
You know, you have that point where you've got to segue into a different lifestyle.
I'm retired, but I crew on 2 different racing yachts.
I'm an astro psychic. I have a 900 line, and I do readings to show the future to people.
I'm a dealer at the Monte Carlo Hotel. I become my husband's slave.
Former showgirl Lori Thompson prepared for the inevitable early on.
I always knew that I wanted to go to law school, and I talked to the producer about it, and he was very understanding, and I had to swear I would never miss a show and that I'd make it back. I ended up going to the University of San Diego and was able to fly out at 6 a.m. every morning and go to law school during the day, fly home and go straight to my dressing room at the Tropicana and study for about an hour and a half or 2 hours before I had to start getting ready for the first show.
Lori spent so much time traveling to and from school. She was Southwest Airlines' #1 frequent flyer for 2 years. Today, after 13 years on stage, Lori is a prominent entertainment attorney licensed in 3 states.
Well, being a lawyer takes a lot of time and a lot of dedication. It's true what they say about lawyers. They get there at the crack of dawn and they leave the office well into the night. It's a big responsibility.
Lori has even more important obligations after hours. This showgirl turned lawyer is also a devoted wife and mother.
I have a little boy. He's about a year old, just over a year old now. And I find time with him in the morning and get him up and get him ready before I leave for work.
Husband Alan Thompson takes over during the day. When Lori returns home, Alan is off to his night job, working with famed magician Lance Burton.
So we're here at the Monte Carlo at the Lance Burton Show. My husband is the production stage manager for Lance Burton. This is little Nicholas, our baby. This is Alan.
Hi, guys.
And then this is Lance. Lance and I worked together at the Folies Bergère for many, many years.
Many years. The Folies Bergère. Just a baby. There's little Nick, my future stage manager. Right there.
We hope.
Lori was a showgirl when I met her. Now she's a big shot lawyer.
Despite her many accomplishments offstage, Lori will always treasure her memories of being a Las Vegas showgirl. Coming up, as Michelle focuses on a flawless debut at the Rio, Vegas showgirls remember their most embarrassing moments.
Everybody in the whole place was just pointing and laughing at me.
Showgirls. Michelle Urbanik was the last cast member to be selected for the Rio Hotel's Show in the Sky Parade. She's gone through intense rehearsals in order to catch up to the other members of the ensemble.
I need my web girls and web guys to stage right and left half circles. And I need everybody else on the main.
Once she's learned the choreography, we have to get her up on stage and do what we call a blocking.
So here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and 1.
Which is actually placing her with the other performers so that she doesn't go and knock somebody out or be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Okay, let's look at our positions by the piano. Okay, good.
It's coming together. Just my brain needs to work as fast as the music now.
Rehearsals for Michelle have been really good. She's worked extremely hard to get all the choreography. It's taking a lot of hours to learn everything, but she's done extremely well. She's lived up to our expectations, and we're really happy with her. So hopefully everything will go well for opening night.
You're so excited to do this. You've worked so hard. You can't wait to show it. And you can't wait to have an audience go, wow, that was a great show.
But as all professional showgirls know, despite countless hours of preparation, things can and do go wrong.
I have fallen in the audience, yes. I fell off the stage. I was a showgirl in the Tropicana. I had this huge headpiece on and this big old cape, and I fell in the audience backwards.
One of the funniest things I think that has ever happened to me was in a huge number, and precision, so everybody has to be sharp, it's syncopation, you have to be right in sync with the music, and all of a sudden the music just cut out. Gone. Dead silence.
The whole audience screamed. Everybody on stage was dying. And then I had to get out of this hole that I was in and climb back up on stage. And I couldn't bend my head forward because this huge headpiece was going to fall off my head because it wasn't strapped onto my head.
Everyone just kept going, and every so often you hear somebody counting under their breath so we would all be in time.
One time I was doing a show where I wore a long dress, and I had knelt down, and when I went to stand up, I slipped on it and wound up flat on my stomach, downstage center, and everybody was too busy laughing, no one would help me up.
I'm climbing back onto the stairs, and back onto the stage, and I look like probably Lucille Ball, you know, just with that deer in the headlights look. And everybody in the whole place was just pointing and laughing at me.
It's kind of funny, and it's very embarrassing at the same time, and you're trying so hard not to laugh. And then the second you get off stage, you lose it.
As the curtain rises on her opening night performance, Michelle hopes that she'll stay on her feet and bring the audience to theirs.
The first night of a performance is the highest feeling you can get because you can't ever repeat it. It happens once.
Michelle is just beginning what she hopes will be a long and successful career on the Vegas stage. Like those who've come before her, she's continuing a tradition that began more than 40 years ago when we were first introduced to an elite group of statuesque beauties known as Las Vegas Showgirls.
Well, we're all dancing around, and you're dancing to the music, and you're keeping time, and all of a sudden one girl did not get up. There she lay. What she had done was she had put her head down and hit her nose and knocked herself out completely on the floor. So we just danced around her until the curtain came down. But the show does go on.
It's just the pancakes.
Well, I'm glad to see you eating, sweetie. You were too scrawny, like Carrie. Right, Carrie?
Yes, ma'am. Too scrawny, ma'am.
And